Hello, it is Thursday. Go through the markets and see what's going on. So yesterday we had a risk on, closed risks on. Pre-market looks to be mixed, and prior close had a BNO XLE divergence. So Brent, crude, and energy equities were moving in opposite directions. Yet again, we saw that a couple days ago. So yesterday was a pretty crazy day, and we basically saw two moves here. The Treasury doubling its long-dated buyback, pulling 30-year off its 2007 high. That created two kind of flows here. One would be the discount rate channel. Lower long yields raise the present value of far-off cash flows and cheapens the cost of holding a zero-yield asset. So the longest duration, more rate-sensitive things ripped. So we saw gold, miners, healthcare, XLV. We saw healthcare rip. We saw REITs rip. Unfortunately, we didn't see Geo rip. And then it went down the net interest margin channel. So banks borrow short and lend long. So the flatter curve squeezes the spread they earn. And that's why we're now seeing banks, huge volume yesterday on regional banks. Coincidentally, right close to the January 2022 level. And XLF is now pushed down, getting a lot closer to that 20-day. The TLT rose on high volume, extremely high volume. And the VIX was pretty silent. It's still down to everything's calm levels. So it looks like money rotated towards duration. It didn't flee to it. TLT rose on real bond bids and not a flight, from what I'm seeing. So we're seeing that the yield drop is bullish duration, bearish banks. And we're just waiting around for the Jackson Hole. Seeing some chatter where they're going to say some stuff to reprice yield back up. So we'll see what happens with that. If we look at yesterday's board, obviously GDX was huge, XBI, so builders. Let's see. Biotech slammed up. So we got a piece of the XLV action. We got a piece of the MRNA action. What is it, MXLR maybe? I don't even remember. What's this guy? Okay. So we got a piece of the healthcare action yesterday. We saw that mid-morning. Oil's up a touch, and then the oil's ripping this morning. Defensive was up a little bit. And then if we look at the volume, XLV was huge volume. We saw that. And huge volume on XLF positions. So if we look at the volume on oil and gold was huge. And banks. So yeah. Market review. Let's see. This is showing Dovish Relief. High confidence. Real rates lower, dollar up, dollar lower rather. Volatility is not rising, stocks are higher. And volatility claim calm. XLB, XLE is favored. XLF is unfavored. That's an interesting So this is really the rotation map is showing everything. And we see the drivers next to that. So it's a good read on what's going on this morning. Let's go through our positions and see what happened yesterday. High volume, trying to get out of that consolidation range. Sellers did show up, so it's a little sign of weakness there. Pre-market down just a touch. IEFA at a high volume hammer there, and then pre-market's back up. Path. It's just still floating around. We had a kind of a moderate volume up thrust. As we wait for this, it's a BAC. I'm going to move this stop for sure. And where's the 20-day on this? The stop's pretty close already. So we're going to move this to basically there. As we read the macro here. Okay, eco. This is high volume hammer. I'll move this stop up closer just to keep it in line with the 20-day. EUFN. There's a huge high volume indecisive candle. Moving this up just a touch here. Low volume. IQLT. Up pre-market. This has been moving up pre-market consistently here. We have a stop at the previous price target. I do want to watch this and see what happens, because this has basically been ramping up pre-market and then just goes right back down. We have a very aggressive price target, but okay. I don't even know if that pre-market's right. So let's just assume the pre-market's not right. Had a high volume indecisive candle. EPOL. Where's this thing up? Okay. High volume. Higher volume, non-harmonic. And man, tried to get out of that range, matching yesterday's volume more or less, and it's losing some steam here. We're going to move this up just a touch. Okay, if we look at the runs here, we have leadership filter, so we're going to see definitely healthcare showing yesterday. Target 9 million, so target went down, touched the 20-day, then slammed back up. That's interesting. Transportation and freight. Interesting. TXG, some sort of biotech thing. That would have been a good bull flag breakout. So we're just seeing, we had Coca-Cola show up as a watcher recently. That's interesting. Higher volume, but still couldn't beat that high there. Good to see our position better on this. I do want to set an alert for this. So that's showing up on leadership due to that high volume there. And then, okay, so we're just seeing yesterday had a huge rotation into XLV, which we know that. We're seeing some pullback this morning. We'll see how that goes. Absorption. Not surprisingly, we're seeing now a crypto show up on our crypto-related strategies. So that's an interesting occurrence here. I would want to see price close above this line with good volume. What is that? 1822. Okay. And then DoorDash is seeing some action. Let's look at some charts and see what's going on here. We were watching AAR. It's looking like it's getting a high volume pullback there. BMY, we got in on that, so we're up a little bit. Costco's following Walmart. FXY, saw some movement yesterday. Geo still consolidating. Google seeing some pullback here. JCI, high volume pullback, way below that 20-day. That's very fast there. Okay, earnings coming up for NVIDIA. Path, so Park, PK. Okay. We had a signal on PK. So we're looking at that this morning. SM. Okay. So we had a high volume. It closed. It did not close above it. So I don't really feel too comfortable about that. Walmart this morning's down 6%, testing the July, November, October levels. Basically a 3-month markdown. And then gold seeing some low volume pullback there on US. It's just low volume pullback. I think when the market opens, we're going to see some of that come back. Okay, so we're trimming some bank stuff. We got into gold yesterday, but that's not really on this book. We'll see how that goes this morning. And see how our XLV stuff goes. Right now, the Bitcoin's basically taken over the headlines, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, pretty easy day. We'll watch it. Watch the gold at the open. Trimming some stops here a little bit because we're seeing some pullback in some of our names. We're already over leveraged on energy, oil. So, I mean, we see that PK entry. We might look into that. And that's about it.